Mr. Chair, I wish to direct my question to the Philippine Competition Commission. This representation is inclined to believe that when there is fair competition, the prices go down. And by the very name of the office, Mr. Chair,
Okay.
Philippine Competition Commission, I believe that among all offices here, it is the PCC's mandate to really look into the lowering of prices of basic commodities. In fact, Mr. Chair, I'm a bit surprised that mayroon palang Philippine Competition Commission. So, may we hear from PCC? Ano po ba ang inyong mandato? And what so far have we done with the seeming uncontrollable price of basic commodities is concerned, Mr. Chair?
Chair and the honorable members of the committee. So in relation to rice and agricultural products, we have actually conducted 3 investigations.
That is in 2016.
Yes, Your Honor, because in 2016 there was no office yet. So we only started operations around end of 2017.
Okay, so you operated 2017 to 2021,
Yes.
I suppose.
Yes.
Because earlier it was admitted that since 2022, since the new administration assumed, there's been no coordination with the Department of Agriculture. Sir, would you agree with me? Kayo ang hinahanap ni Secretary Laurel. Ang nawawalang enforcement power ng Department of Agriculture.
Qualified, yes, Your Honor, because if it comes to competition matters, that would be us. But if it's about pricing, regulation, registrations, licensing, that's beyond
But
our
of course, you
jurisdiction.
will agree with me that the pricing and the licensing has something to do as well with the prevalence of cartel, rice cartel in the Philippines, to be specific.
It contributes, Your Honor, but we don't have that licensing power. What we do is investigate and then we prosecute, like what we did in the onion case, Your Honor.
Precisely. Kasi ang sabi po kanina ni Secretary Laurel, kami na po ang magfa-file kung walang ibang opisinang gumawa nito. Ibig sabihin, the DA is very much challenged in as far as the necessary quasi-judicial power is concerned. And only to realize later na mayroon palang Philippine Competition Commission. Yun pong hinahanap na kapangyarihan ni Secretary Laurel of the Department of Agriculture today rightfully belongs to your office, and I feel that I am in the proper position to demand what have you done so far.
Yes, Your Honor. So, as I mentioned, Your Honor, in 2018, when there was a price spike in rice, we investigated that at around 10 or more entities were investigated. However, when we finished our investigation, we concluded that the price spike was caused by the untimely arrival of imports. So that was the 2018 case. And then
May we know how many companies you investigated in 2018?
it's around 8 to 10 companies, Your Honor.
8 to 10 companies.
Yes, ma'am.
Kanina po ang sabi ng ating first representative ng PCC, there was one case
That's
which
in 2019, Your Honor. So parallel to that case, we received information from the honorable chair of this commission, of this committee, that there were complaints about low buying price in the province of Albay. So we took it upon our selves to investigate that, and that led to a prosecution of a dominant miller. So yung pong pambabarat na nangyayari in that area was prosecuted.
what year was that?
That started in 2019, and the case was filed in 2020.
And 20,
2023.
2019, and then you were able to file the case when? 2023?
Yes, Your Honor.
It took you 4 years to be able to file the case?
There was an intervening pandemic, Your Honor, and we had to make our case economically sound, legally sound also, Your Honor.
Yes.
We wanted not to file a case that would...
But I hope you realize that when we speak about prices of the basic commodities, we're talking about social justice here.
Yes, Your Honor. That's why the case that we filed was preventing a big miller from...
I do not understand at all why a case you started investigating in 2019 will be filed after 4 years in 2023.
Yes, Your Honor, because we also follow a process in the office, and this is an economic case, Your Honor. So we conducted a market survey, the pricing mechanism in that area, the relevant market. So it's a little bit complicated, Your Honor. I know it takes some time, even in the
May
US.
we know how many people are working under the PCC?
In my office, I have 12 investigators, Your Honor.
12. Are they all lawyers?
No, Your Honor.
Nonetheless, they have legal background?
Some, Your Honor.
Yes. Aside from the 12 investigators, how many people else are working at PCC?
120, 190, Your Honor.
190?
That consists of economists and lawyers and investigators, Your Honor. Not just the investigatory or the enforcement office.
In other words, you have 190 plus 20
That's
lawyers?
already included, Your Honor.
190 in total.
Including the... Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, I just want to express my frustration that having this Philippine Competition Commission since 2016, they were able to file only one case, and the one in 2018 was not even filed.
Your Honor, I was not yet finished. We also filed the onion case just recently.
So how many cases all in all?
In relation to agriculture, we have 3 cases that was concluded, and 2 led to a filing of
Ito po bang
of
onion
cases.
case na sinasabi nyo is as an offshoot result of the inquiry in aid of legislation that was conducted also by the Committee on Food and Agriculture?
that was in relation to that, Your Honor. So when it
I
happened,
wonder if the Congress did not initiate that investigation, if you will be pursuing those onion smugglers.
at that time, Your Honor, when the Food and Agri Committee conducted the investigation, we were also already conducting the investigation.
So can you please give us a summary? Total number of cases you filed since 2016.
I can only answer for the enforcement office, Your Honor, around...
Why? Is there any other office under
Yes, Your
PCC
Honor.
which filed cases?
the Mergers and Acquisitions Office also reviews...
Mergers and
and Acquisitions
Acquisition
Office.
Office. But I don't think that that has something to do with the rice cartel.
It does, Your Honor, if it comes to mergers, Your Honor.
Yes, but this does not pertain to the merger and consolidation. Tama ba?
Not, Your Honor.
We're talking about price
Yes, Your Honor.
manipulation here. So in as far as cases related to price manipulation, cartels are concerned, ilan po in total ang
We have 10
naifile?
cases, Your Honor.
10 cases. And you've been in operation since 2016.
Office was started in 2016, and then the rules in 2017, and then the high...
With all due respect
Yeah.
to PCC, but I find this so frustrating.
Yes, Your Honor.
And if I may add, the PCC should be proactive. You should be reaching out to the Department of Agriculture because you know for a fact that you have the mandate to address the uncontrollable prices of basic commodities. Tama po ba?
Yes.
Do you confirm that? And without this investigation, you will not be able to coordinate for the very first time with the Department of Agriculture under the new administration, as earlier represented. Kung hindi po nag-umpisa ang investigasyon na ito, Magkakaroon po ba kayo ng oportunidad or initiative na makipag-coordinate sa DA pertaining to the continuing price increase of rice, to be particular?
Actually, Your Honor, even before this, we are already talking to the DA, especially my office, the enforcement office. So we have been talking to Yusek Asis Perez. We actually wanted to talk to them
Because
earlier, Your Honor.
if you were listening to Secretary Laurel kanina, he's sounding so helpless about having no enforcement power with respect to the price control when you have this Philippine Competition Commission which even have this quasi judicial power. So I hope you realize how huge the power that was given by the law to PCC is. You should be at the forefront of this challenge that the Philippine government is facing right now. Do you confirm that?
Yes, Your Honor. And
So,
we will,
just to wrap up, Mr. Chair, my questions with the PCC. I am requesting, this representation is requesting for an accomplishment report of the PCC since 2016 up to the present time.
we will submit, Your Honor.
May we know when will you be able to submit the same?
Next Tuesday.
Thank you, Chair. We'll submit next Tuesday.
Mr. Chair, I wish to proceed with the TA. Has it come to your attention already na mayroon pong mga magsasaka, farmers, even before planting their seeds, bayad na ng capitalist yung kanilang harvest?
Ang pagkakaalam ko po sa practice ay ang mga may-ari po ng rice mill would provide in areas where they buy palay, yung pong financing.
Yes, that is true.
And then kapag ka po naman magbibilihan na ng palay, sa kanila po binebenta.
Kasi po, kaya ko po ito dinanong, if we are going to allow this situation ng ating individual farmers are relying solely on their capitalist or the millers, as you have said, it is no longer the farmers who are dictating the farm gate price. Tama po ba? Yun pong chain in between the farmers and the millers nawala na. Because the farmers and the millers or the capitalist has turned into the same personality already. And suffice it to say, wala na pong kapangyarihan ang isang farmer na magpresyo ng kanyang palay if at the very first place, hindi pa na itatanim, bayad na ang harvest.
Kung pwede po ako mag-elaborate ng konti. Ang relasyon po ng magpapalay at ng rice miller sa totoong buhay ay, I would say, mutually beneficial to a certain extent. Lalong-lalo na kung ang available lamang na produkto ay palay na lokal. Sapagkat marami namang rice mill, pagka mura ang bili mo, pupunta lang ako sa kabilang rice mill. Pero kung ang rice mill po ay may option na bumili sa iba, then tama po kayo na mawawala yung bargaining power ng farmer. Example, if the only available supply of palay is local supply, which is about 90%, then it is a supply side yung may handle ng presyo. Pero kung meron pang ibang available sources, kagaya halimbawa po ng palay galing sa labas, nandun na po ngayon yung nawawala po yung bargaining power ng farmer. So that's what happened as we observe in the recent years.
Mr. Chair, I wish to request our resource speaker to confine his answer to the context of the question. Ang farmers po natin walang resources, walang kapital. So he is at the mercy of the capitalist. Kaya po na-create yung scenario na bago pa man magtanim, bayad na ang harvest. Technically speaking, totally lost ang bargaining power ng farmer. Let me proceed to the next question, sir. Given this situation,
Sayang ng tanong. PCC, how would you define contract farming in the context of the countervailing powers, in the context of market competition?
Contract farming, Your Honor, appear to be
In other words, the farmer still has the choice to go into the contract. You mean?
if the farmer is already indebted, Your Honor, then that he loses his agency or power not to engage with you anymore.
Are there laws preventing contract farming?
As far as I know, there's no.
Do you think it's against competition policy?
Only if it consists of an abuse of dominance, Your Honor. Like the big miller imposing on small farmers, that's under Section 15G or yung pambabarat, Your Honor. But otherwise,
Anyway, this is not the last of it, but sayang naman ng points niya. Anyway, you can continue.
may we know from DA, ano po ba ang intervention na ginagawa na or pwedeng gawin ng ating gobyerno in order to save our individual farmers from similar scenario?
Ito pong ginagawa natin, marami po tayong iba-ibang intervention. Una-una po, naglagay po tayo ng mas maraming resources pambili ng palay ng ating mga magsasaka.
But of course, we know that it's not only palay that is needed. Sabi po kanina ni Secretary, kailangan ng fertilizer, napakamahal ng fertilizer.
Opo, yun po.
We wanted these individual farmers, the ones who have no capital, to be able to stand on their own
Opo.
so that they will maintain this bargaining power to impose the price of palay
Opo.
at the farm gate.
Opo. So, isa lang po yon. Una, kasi para nga po may kalaban po yung rice mill, naglagay po tayo ng more resources now to enable NFA to buy local rice. Yun po yung isa. Pangalawa po, tinagdagan din po natin yung pondo natin para po sa fertilizer support. Meron din po tayong dagdag na pondo para po sa pagbibigay ng binhi at sa ilalim po ng bagong rice tarification law, lumaki po yung pondo para dito. Ngayon po meron na tayong yung how much is the RTL now? The budget? No, the current budget po annual ng rice tarification law which was just signed by the President is 30 billion. So malaki pong pondo yon na magagamit natin na pangdagdag puhunan po sa ating mga magsasaka.
I understand, sir. But I hope that we are responding to the proper recipients. So that leads to my other question. Tayo po ba ay may data kung sino itong mga farmers who totally lack the necessary resources? Kanina pa po natin ginagamit yung term na farmers eh. But actually, I want to classify the farmers into one which has resources and another which has no resources. Yun pong walang resources, may data po ba tayo nito?
Meron po. Yun nga po, makaklasify natin po yung rice farmer. Ang tawag po kanina ni Secretary, strong rice farmers and those who are weak.
Weak.
Apo. So, yun po yung ginamit na term. And so, mahalaga po yung targeted intervention because our limited resources, as I mentioned already kanina, should be focused helping the farmers who needs help. those who are relatively, for lack of better term, weaker than the stronger ones.
And may I ask, ilang percent po ba yung weak farmers ng total farmers?
Sa ngayon po, ma'am, Mr. Chair, to be perfectly honest with you, we do not have those numbers. But that is why our program now is focused on what we call getting granular information from the ground. This is...
PSA, are you here? Wala na PSA?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
How many farms have more than 3 hectares? How many farmers have more than 3 hectares?
We have to check the data from.
Kala ko nandyan yung mga ganun mo.
We have to check the data with the Census of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Chair. But for the surveys, we don't have that data.
Because that would clearly delineate who are the small farmers and the weak farmers. Anyway, since you don't have it, you can continue. Huwag ka lang mambola, ha?
No, sir. This is truly... kaya nga po, ang
You keep using adjectives.
mapapansin po nyo,
Why don't you just describe them by their
Mr. Chair.
quantitative and empirical, ano?
yes, kaya nga po ang amin pong support ay nakalimitado po doon sa mga maliliit ang lupa.
Yun.
So kaya rin po, ang rice farmer po ay 2 hektarya pababa, doon po binibigay yung mga suporta. Hindi po sa lahat.
Sir Chair, this is actually a question. Does it necessarily follow na kapag malaki yung lupa, strong farmer sila? At kapag maliit ang lupa, weak farmer sila?
That is one of the parameters. Kasi po minsan po, hindi po yun lamang ang basihan. Kasi halimbawa, malapad yung lupa mo, kaya lang yung lupa mo walang irigasyon. So relatively, you're not as good or as strong as the 2-hectare farmer with an irrigation. So kaya po hindi lang po yung lupa, kundi pati yung presence of irrigation facilities. And also, the presence of yung mas malapit ka ba sa Maynila o mas malapit ka ba sa pagdadalhan mo ng gamit, so ng produkto mo. So that has to be included in the entire parameters.
Mr. Chair, to wrap up this point,
Ay, salamat.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
to wrap up this point, I wish to request the Department of Agriculture to submit to the committee the data on the number of strong vis-a-vis weak farmers and the parameters which are being used to be able to classify the same. Mr. Chair, can I proceed to my next question? Last two, very quick. Very, very quick, Mr. Chair.
Wala ka sa listahan.
I am in the list, the last interpellator for the first round.
Bigla nagsulputan.
Mr. Chair, this will be very quick. Please allow this representation.
Yes. Please proceed.
DA, please. Kanina po na pag-usapan ng irrigation, I was able to verify for myself dun po sa amin, 2nd District of Batangas, 2021. Napakarami po ng solar irrigation project na hindi nag-function. As a matter of fact, wala pong napakinabangan. May we know if there are interventions or measures that were employed by the Department of Agriculture to rehabilitate, kung tama po ba yung terminology rehabilitate, when the system has never been used.
Wala akong co-chair.
Have you come across that information, DA?
Marami pong na-report na hindi lang po solar irrigation but other support facilities. And we are now in the process of doing the inventory. In fact, ano nga po yung pong ibang mga solar irrigation projects na yon, mukhang hindi ho nalagay sa tamang lugar kasi walang tubig.
May we just request for a report on that as well? And last question, sir. When we talk about food and agriculture, we need land. Tama po ba?
Yes, yes, Madam Chair.
And of course, we are aware, marami pong agricultural land ang nako-convert into industrial and commercial. Ano po ba ang ginagawa natin to make sure that we reserve the necessary amount of land, agricultural land, to secure the food and agriculture of our nation?
Sang-ayon po sa APMA, kinakailangan magdeklara tayo ng mga strategic
You
agriculture
said
and
AGMA?
APMA po, APMA.
APMA.
APMA. Kailangan po
What
tayo
does it stand for, APMA?
Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act, which is more than 20 years law. Kailangan meron po tayong ilagay na Strategic Agriculture and Fisheries Area o SAPDCs. Kung saan ang mga SAPDCs na ito ay kinakailangang ma-preserve at ma-protect as agricultural areas.
So what are we doing about the mandate of the law?
That particular law, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, is part of the backlog that the DA is currently working on. Ito po hindi halos na implement. And so this...
May we know which specific office of the DA is in charge to look after the implementation of that law? APMA.
It's a combination po of the local government unit. Ang mandated po kasi nito, local government and our BSWM.
What is BSWM?
That is the Bureau of Soils and Water Management po.
May we request, Mr. Chair, that we invite the head of BSWM on the next hearing? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Comsec.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just administrative matters lang. Very